Hello, I'm back again. Going to read The Smartest Giant in Town. Bit like me today. George was a giant, the scruffiest giant in town. He always wore the same pair of old brown sandals and the same old patched up gown. I wish I wasn't the scruffiest giant in town, he said sadly. Anyway, George left his old clothes behind it. Oh no, we've missed a page. Oops. One day, George noticed a new shop. It was full of smart clothes, so he bought a smart shirt, a smart pair of trousers, a smart belt, ow, bang my arm, a smart stripy tie, some smart socks, and a nice pair of shiny shoes. He's going to look like me. George left his old clothes behind in the shop. He was about to go home when he heard a sound. On the pavement stood a giraffe who was sniffing. "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's my neck," said the giraffe. "It's so very long and so very cold. I wish I had a long warm scarf." "Cheer up," said George, and he took off his stripy tie. It didn't match his socks anyway, he said as he wound it round and round the giraffe's neck. "It made a wonderful scarf." "Thank you," said the giraffe. And as George strode towards home, he sang to himself, "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe, but look at me down, up and down. I'm the smartest giant in town." It's like in my scarf as well. There you go, giraffe, all yours. So he felt very smart, just like me still. Oh, undo my button, it's hot. Anyway, George came to a river, and on a boat stood a goat who was bleating loudly. "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's my sail," said the goat. "It blew away in a storm, and I wish I had a strong new sail for my boat." "Cheer up," said George, and he took off his new white shirt. It kept coming untugged anyway, he said, and as he tied it to the mast of the goat's boat, it made a magnificent sail. "Oh, thank you so much," said the goat. "Shall I give mine as well?" "Yeah, hang on. There you go for the sail." Whew. Bit my shirt to make a nice sail. Could well do, doesn't it? I hope the postman doesn't look in. He's about to deliver post and see me stripping off. Right, I'll go and give my sail to the boat. How about that? I feel as happy as George. My tie is a scarf and a cold giraffe. My shirt's on a boat. But look me up and down. I'm the smartest giant, daddy, in town. Anyway, George came to a tiny ruined house. Beside the house stood a white mouse with lots of baby mice. They were all squeaking. "What's the matter?" "It's our house," squeaked the mother mouse. "It burned down and now we have nowhere to live." "Aww. I wish we had a nice new house." "Cheer up," said George, and he took off one of his shiny shoes. Giving me blisters anyway. And the shoe made a perfect home. "Oh, thank you," they squeaked. George had to hop along the road now, but he didn't mind. As he hopped, he sang a song. "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. My shirt is on the boat for a sail game. But lug me up and down. I'm the smartest giant, daddy, in town." Anyway, George carried on his walk. He came to a campsite. Beside the tent stood a fox who was crying. "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's my sleeping bag," said the fox. "I dropped it in a puddle. I wish I had a warm, dry sleeping bag." "Cheer up," said George, and he took off one of his socks. I could do that, couldn't I? La la. "It was tickling my toes anyway," he said, as the fox snuggled into it. "There you go, Mr. Fox." It made a very nice, fine sleeping bag. "Thank you," said the fox. "You're welcome." George hopped on singing to himself. "My tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. My shirt on a boat has a sail for a goat. My shoe is a horse for a little white mouse. One of my socks is a bed for a fox. But look me up and down. I'm the smartest giant, shh, Daddy, in town. George came to a big squelchy bog. Beside the bog stood a dog who was howling. "What's the matter?" asked George. "It's this bog," said the dog. "I need to get across, but I keep getting stuck in the mud. I wish there was a safe dry path." "Cheer up," said George, and he took off his smart new belt. "It was squishing my tummy anyway, shall I do the same?" It made an excellent path. "There you go, dog, and there's the belt." The wind started to blow, but George didn't mind. He hopped on, singing to himself, "Hop, hop, hop. My tie's a scarf for a cold giraffe. My shirt's on a boat for a sail goat. My shoe is a house for a little white mouse. And one of my socks is a bed for a fox. But my belt helped a dog who was crossing a bog. But, my trousers keep falling down." Yeah, I thought that. I didn't want to say because it's embarrassing. "Now I'm the coldest giant in town." Mine won't fall down into the same as him, will they? I'm sure. No, of course they won't. Oh! My trousers are falling down. Look, the same. Oh my goodness. Suddenly George felt sad and shivery and not at all smart. He stood on one foot and thought, "I have to go back to the shop and buy some more clothes," he decided. He turned round and hopped all the way back to the shop. But when he got there, it was closed. "Oh no!" "Oh no!" cried George. He sank down onto the doorstep, and he was all sad. He felt as sad as the animals he had met on his way home. Then out of the corner of his eye, he saw a bag with something familiar poking out of the top. George took a closer look. His old clothes! "Oh, that's fantastic. He's the coolest giant in town," he cried, and he danced all the way back home. Outside his front door, all the animals he had helped, they were carrying an enormous present. "Come on," they said, "open it." George untied the ribbon. And you know what he found inside? Look. Look, look. A beautiful gold crown. George looked inside the card and put the crown on his head and opened the card. It said, "Your tie is a scarf for a cold giraffe. Your shirt is on a boat as a sail for a goat. Your shoe is in a house for a little white mouse. One of your socks is a bed for a fox. Your belt helped a dog who was crossing a bog. So here is a very fine crown to go with the sandals and gown of the kindest, the very kindest, the best kindest giant in town." Loves ya.